Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another reading. We've got a message from Spirit today. Not much of an introduction needed because you kind of know what you get from these readings if you've been here for a while. Pile number ones, pile number twos, and pile number threes. I'll start off with pile number ones. Pile number ones, how are we doing? So I was getting, kind of reminds me a little bit of like mermaidy energy. A little bit, but like this almost reminds me of like a flower being born. The key word, sorry, my voice. Oh Lord, Zed needs some rest. The key word actually that was coming through here, part ones, the key word was release, releasing. Now, what's quite interesting about that is it seems to be like this person's releasing from the third eye, which is interesting because I don't know. Just think about that as an idea. When we think of releasing stuff, it's usually, at least for me, I feel it feels more like that comes out of you, like root chakra, and heart chakra. I've never really played with the idea of things being released through the head, through the third eye, and in this way. I feel pile number ones, it's just quite a strange thing to say. I know I've had some quite strange readings in the past, but almost pay attention to this energy's positioning. That positioning might be something, just like when you're meditating, and it's alright. I'm not going to tell no one. I won't tell no one your business, especially if you're a geezer watching this. But like try and get into this position. If you're kind of really into yoga and stuff like that, this is going to be no problem for you. But if you're kind of new to opening up to spiritual concepts, it's one thing actually doing stuff like this, and then it's another thing believing in it. So some of you out there might be like, okay, yeah, obviously that's not difficult, get on my tiptoes. and imagine things being released from my third eye. But like actually to believe it's going to work, I think that's what separates um the small fish from the big fish, you know, in spirituality. It's when you can bypass your ego, when you see certain ideas or concepts thrown, and you're quick to go, oh, what a load of bullshit. But to actually test it and believe in it if it resonates with you. So part number one's the message from spirit here is releasing, and it's almost like the bloom of the flower doesn't come from the side or the root. It comes from the top. So that might be like third eye awakening energy also, but I'm actually getting really, it's almost the releasing of energies is creating that bloom. It's like if it was a piece of art, it was alchemizing that energy into something beautiful onto the canvas. It's that type of energy. So part number one's quite quick readings today, but I feel like I got everything out in that reading, so I'm going to leave it there. If you enjoyed the reading, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, pile number twos. I felt like saying glorious pile number twos. So that's a good sign. Glorious. Not sure if we're centre there, but bear with me. Right, part number twos. Sorry that the circles are a bit off. I was kind of rushing a little bit there. But I was trying to explain this concept of, you know, like when you get those balls and they've got balls inside of a ball and then they can rotate in different ways, similar to what I'm doing with my hands, you know, that kind of movement. I was getting that, and something to not be mistaken in this reading is this is a full-grown man. This isn't a baby. But they are kind of in a little bit of a fetus position. The head is up, The head is not curved in on itself, so the head is up. There's some kind of got some confirmation there on my laptop. There's some kind of like awakening or awareness here. And so it is the male energy. So we're talking probably about your masculine here. I feel actually that some of you pole number twos, you might even have felt like a little bit dizzy, because I feel like I don't know, maybe babies feel dizzy in the womb, but because there's quite a lot of shaking around going on, isn't there? Imagine when someone's walking. I'm not sure how comfortable that is as a journey. I don't know, I guess Spirit's amazing. It's given me these amazing thoughts that I've never thought about. I imagine the babies, I know like the babies aren't like fully aware and conscious in the womb, but like they're moving about and stuff, aren't they? They are kind of aware. And just think about that, like think about just someone walking. It's not like being in a car. Can you imagine trying to get some sleep and someone going dun 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 da 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 dun? Do you know what I mean? It's bloody hell. Baby must be knocking on that belly wall like, bloody hell, woman, would you just sit down for 5 minutes? I'm trying to get some sleep here. And all those voices and stuff going on, like, just hearing shit all the time. People having conversations that you don't even want to be part of. Maybe this is just me as a baby. Maybe this is just how I was in there. Some of my pole number twos, you must be having a blast. You must be like, yeah, she's going for a walk again. This is fun. You might have been listening to like mum and dad's conversations, like, oh, that's juicy gossip there. I was like, well, you two shut the hell up. You guys talk too much. It's all perspective, right? So, pile number two, apart from like being lost by my humour or laughing with me, there's something going on here with like rotation. So like we could even, and I ended that stupid baby metaphor with perspective, right? So there might be changing of perspectives that you're going through right now, and I feel like even when doing the reading, there was not just a feeling of like dizziness, but there was the word dizziness coming through. It's like I was feeling the energy, and it reminds me of like, when you are kind of waking up to different parts, like different spiritual knowledge, like, kudos to you if you don't feel this way, but sometimes when I come across something which really, really does awaken me, it does make me feel like overwhelmed. It's like, damn. It's like, to be honest, it's not even spirituality. Like, just think about learning in general. It's that kind of feeling, right? When I remember even times when I was in a long ass lecture studying for architecture, there's parts before you like want to conk out and sleep when the lecture is so long and intense. There's parts where you just feel like, oh man, like when I say dizzy as well, I don't mean literally like when you spin around 100 times in a circle and you feel dizzy. It's not necessarily that type of dizziness I'm talking about, but it is that, but just not in the intense way. It's more like your mind feels that way. But when you spin around, your whole body kind of wobbles and feels that way, right? So I feel part number two is you've kind of maybe gone through some form of like awakening or taking in some new knowledge, and sometimes that can be overwhelming. It's like when you get those new codes, those new downloads, and you actually absorb them, it kind of gives you a different feeling. There's like a, it's almost like an upgrade of the Matrix. The Matrix has to upgrade because you've learned that system, you've learned that lesson. Um, I'm not sure if I can give a good metaphor. Uh, I guess like this might be a shallow metaphor, but I remember when like on my money journey, I remember when I started to come into touch with different concepts around money, different mindsets around money. I remember there was certain uh, feelings I had after that because it's kind of, you know, when it's almost like that feeling of like I don't need glasses, but you know, if you looked at something and you kind of look again and it's like, did I see that? It's kind of that feeling, a little bit like, it's not really confusion either. And what I mean by that is because like once I'd upgraded my mindset, there was things that I'd always heard before, but with that new mindset, that thing that, like, let's just even say if it was a quote, you know, about money. I'd seen that quote, I'd heard that quote 100 times over, but when my mindset had upgraded, that same quote, I had a brain freeze basically because I understood it in a completely different way. So you know, it's funny really because I have quotes on my Instagram. Um, I challenge you, pile number twos, and you know, this is a little bit of a plug to myself, but I'm not sure if you're following me on Instagram, but what I did and I'm starting to do on occasion recently was when I was just going into my stories, it suggested that I posted something from 2 years ago, one of my old posts from 2 years ago. And maybe this is something that you can do on my Instagram or even someone else's. But I challenge you to scroll down, and what I want you to do is like, if it was mine, it would be great. Like I said, shameless plug. But especially if you've been following me for a while, go back to one of my older posts and just read it again, and you would understand what I mean about how when your mindset upgrades, you might see that quote in a completely different way, you know? And sometimes it's because we get to know the person behind the quote a bit better. Sometimes it's because we read something and it upgrades our perspective. Um, Sometimes we just mature. Whatever the reason for that is not really that important. The important part is that that same thing is seen in a completely different way because your mindset's upgraded, and this is what spirit's bringing to your attention. This is what's going on, and well, hopefully for you pile number twos, you're going to actually have some form of birth as well, because we're talking about almost the womb energy here as well. So with that perspective, you might be birthing something new too, which is only positive vibes, isn't it? So if you are feeling a little bit, what I can't think of the word, like um, there's a certain word for it, but I can't think of it. When you're, you know, the only you know, I'm gonna try and say this word right, and it's gonna be completely wrong, but I want you to kind of guess what I'm trying to say because I can't remember it. But it's like dis discombobulated or something like that. Like if you're feeling discombobulated, that probably isn't the right word, but it's that, you know, if you're feeling like a little bit, see, because I could say dizzy and it's not quite dizzy, and then I could say confused and it's not quite confused. There's a certain word where it's just like you're just a little bit off center, but it's not in a negative way. It's because you know, you put too much files onto the memory stick, you know. Poll number two is, I hope this is helpful for you. Like I said, if you're feeling that way, this is just confirmation on why you're feeling that way. I hope it was helpful for you. If it was, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Right, poll number three is. What's good? Poll number three is. You're never gonna guess this, poll three is. What's coming? Maybe you will. I might actually leave that like that. You might have dyed your hair. Or going a bit grey or something. Remember, not gender specific. Okay, here's the bit you're never gonna get. Didn't see that coming, did you? Bet you didn't see that coming. Okay, poll number three is. Wow. I don't know. It almost feels like this image speaks for itself. You know, I almost don't want to speak on this. Really do. What do you see? What do you feel? Type energy. Poll threes. What do you get from this? Because it speaks for itself in so many ways. I'm doing these readings with lots of cars going by, and just even as I finished this, there was just such an eerie silence. It's because like there's not much words to it. It's like I guess it's really that energy of coming into someone's power, I'd say. If this was the phoenix from the ashes, this would definitely be the person as the phoenix right now. In many ways, it's like this is representing the birds giving the character flight, but like in many ways it's the character giving the birds flight. She's not really getting lifted by these birds. she's almost floating with them. They're almost her companions. Yeah, so part number 3 is maybe like, so I'm just going to give you some key words. Because like I said, it's hard to actually, this is much more on the energy of sitting in this energy opposed to me speaking on it, you know? So I'm just going to give you some kind of key words of what's coming to me. I'm getting rebirth. I'm getting power. I'm getting realization. I'm getting heightened, possibly heightened knowledge. I'm getting also colours. I'm getting like purples, whatever that means, kind of navy blue. A lot of white and a lot of gold. Now, don't mix those colours together because you're not going to have a pretty colour palette, but maybe just imagine this whole page in that colour or something, separately or individually. I'm not saying those colours are necessarily working together, but it's kind of giving me those vibes. I'm going to give you some astrology as well. Possibly Gemini energy. Possibly, yeah, a hell of a lot of Gemini energy. I'm thinking like, what signs are like white? Would that be Mercury? I think Mercury's like silver. So yeah, it's like Mercury energy. I feel like even these birds could be like white doves. I think that's peace. I'm not really getting necessarily like ravens. You might and touching with your own intuition. I'm not getting hawks or anything like that. It's more like the dove, which is interesting because it's almost like phoenixy energy, which is usually quite dark, quite fiery, quite red. But this is almost like if the phoenix was a Mercury vibe, like if that bird was silver or white, this would be almost like white dragon energy, silver dragon energy. Yeah, that white silver energy is really like kind of shouting now. So yeah, part number 3 is just sit on it, see what this reading says to you. I think you just need to pause on this, literally. I know, no puns intended, because it's called If You Pause, but you really need to pause on this, I feel. And I think you're going to get some codes and some messages from it. This is definitely a positive reading, but this is almost like, it's got that wow energy to it. It's almost like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, I feel like this person's like done the unthinkable or the unimaginable, It's that type of energy. When someone just does something that's so funnily enough, the word coming to my mind is like so like gangster, but I don't necessarily mean that in like a hood way. I just mean like damn, that's so dope. It's almost like the energy of uh, let's say if you were an artist, right, and people didn't know what you were doing for like 5 years, and after 5 years, um, you say that you're unveiling a new piece, and like you invite your family and your friends and stuff, and by chance this exhibition that you're holding gets a load of attention or something, and then you finally have to unveil, and you unveil it, and it's like the piece that you was working on was like the a Michelangelo, and people are just like, holy shit, you know. It's like your unveil is like, holy shit, like damn. I think you might have even caught some people off guard. Like people may have thought you were one to watch, but like you're unveiling something which is just like you're knocking something out of the park here. I feel it's like goat energy, like greatness energy. Oh. Anyways, part number 3 is like I said. I just think you need to sit on it. Um, if you enjoyed the reading, please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.